I think it's time for another Smackdown list. What do you say? What's happening, YouTube? It is Matt here from Sophisticated Obsession, and today we are doing another Labo Smackdown list. So I put my feelers out there a little while ago, basically asking you guys, what would you like to see? What fragrance list would you like me to then produce next? The two most popular ones that came out were my own private list, but also this list that I'm going to be treating you to today. So today in this list, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be trying to find the best masculine scent from Labo City Exclusive Range. I will try to be as diplomatic as I possibly can. Obviously with fragrances though, like everybody has got then a different story with each fragrance. Everybody is going to find that the fragrances are going to act differently on each other's skin. So I'm not going to please everybody with this, but hopefully this is going to clue you up a little bit more, gents, of what fragrances I think are going to be the most masculine and the most accessible to you guys. So I've got 14 fragrances here. They are all going to go head to head so that we can then narrow it down to the final fragrance. That fragrance is going to be, hopefully, the most masculine fragrance out there. So I've put all of the fragrances into this tournament list. It's just randomly generated it, so I haven't like fiddled with this in any way. So it might be that it's a little bit harsh where two quite masculine scents are put together in like the first round, so one of them's going to get knocked out. This is just a bit of fun, guys, so obviously don't take this too much to heart. There are two fragrances that have automatically been put into round two just because, you know, if you do the maths, then you'll find that it will be impossible to not have those. So that is why in the first round, I will not be mentioning Citron 28 and Aldehyde 44. So, just before I do this, I just need to spray my testers. Yeah, you can just skip way past this. Whew, right, we're there. Let's do this. Okay, so what I'm looking for is a masculine scent. So something maybe quite sort of depthy or woodsy, something that is quite strong. It probably shouldn't be heavy in the floral notes. Guys, this is just a huge generalization. This is not me saying that, lads, you can't wear more like effeminate fragrances. You can't wear floral fragrances or powdery scents. This is just me trying to then sort of give you a little bit of a head start as to what fragrances you might like. I'm just trying to defend myself before keyboard warriors like get straight into the comments going, this is a rubbish list, you don't know what you're talking about. True, I probably don't, but at least I've got my disclaimer out there. So the first duel, we have San Francisco's Limette against Moscow's Benzoin. Limette is definitely one of those citrus scents where it's combining masculinity with citrus. There's a little bit of like muskiness, there's a little bit of woodsiness, there's just a little bit of depth in there that goes along with those lovely citrus notes. Benzoin though has got a real sort of strong, peppery, woodsy note going around. It's quite sharp, but it's nice. I would definitely consider Benzoin to be more of a masculine, manly scent. So for that, I'm saying Benzoin from Moscow wins. Next up, we have London's Poivre against Miami Tabac. Poivre got that really lovely sort of vanilla-like pepper note. This is definitely one of my favorites. That also brings me up to my next point. Definitely check out the last video that I did where I was then ranking all of the Labo City exclusives. So that is my personal list of the fragrances that I personally love. And you can see that just there. Pepper, I personally find, is one of my favorite notes in perfumery, but it has to be done well. Full-on pepper notes, it just comes across very stingy, just really, really strong. It would take your eyesight. Whereas this, it's blended with a few vanilla notes in there, which then just sort of mellows it slightly. Oh God, Tabac though. It's so cool. There's something confusing about it where it's quite sweet, but it's got some lovely sort of masculine smoky notes going on in there. It's got a boozy quality. It's got kind of like a green elements going on in the background. This is harsh on both of these because both of these I think deserve to go through to the next round. They're both masculine. I would say, smelling both of these side by side though, I think Miami's Tobacco wins. So this next battle, I was confused at how you pronounce this next scent. This is from Hong Kong, and somebody said in the comments that it's pronounced Bigarade? Bigarade? I've still butchered it. But anyway, this is Hong Kong City Exclusive against Bay Rose from Chicago. Bigarade has a very soapy quality. It's quite sharp, maybe a little bit of powderiness going on. People will know that I'm not a huge powdery scent fan. I'm not, I just turn my nose up at it. But this is nice because it's got those really lovely citrus soapy notes that just make this scent so fresh. Bay Rose is like a dirty rose note. Again, it's got those peppery notes, but this is like a noir type of scent. This has got like a darker, richer, sexier type of feel. In that respect, I would say that that is more unisex. Oh, I don't know. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't say that either of these are majorly masculine. For this one, I think I am gonna have to just go down to personal taste, and personally, I think that Bay Rose from Chicago wins. Next up, we have from Tokyo, this is Gaiac against Dubai's Kur. Gaiac frustrates me because I wish that there was more of it. I understand that this might be more of like a minimalist type of scent. I just want to smell it. True, I'm not doing it justice because I am putting it onto a blotting card, but even so, you should be able to smell it. What I can smell though is a lovely sweet cedarwood note with a few sort of like mentholy type of smells going over the top of it. Is it masculine though? Kur is very strong, very masculine, has like a real sort of dominating presence about it. It smells quite currified. It smells very spicy. I kind of thought that this would smell a lot more Arabian than it actually is. This is more leathery. It's an easy win though. Dubai Kur wins. Next up, we come to Amsterdam Mustachen, and this is against Los Angeles Musk. Mustachen has got some lovely sort of wood notes with some sweet notes in here. Little bit of maybe patchouli. There is like a designer element to this. It's very forgiving. I find that musk, it's very powdery, it's very sort of dusty, and it is musky. You can't deny it is musky. It's got kind of like a talcum powder type of smell to it. This one is insanely popular. I do think though that Mustachen wins this purely because it's got more of like a stronger presence about it. Amsterdam, you're through to the next round. And finally, to sum up round one, we have got New York's Tuberose against Paris Vanille. Tuberose, very, very citrusy. I'm really surprised that New York has this as their city exclusive. When I smell tobacco, I think tobacco suits New York more, and Tuberose suits Miami more. Obviously, I don't live in those cities. Somebody who might be watching this who lives in either like New York or Miami, they might go, Matt, what are you on about? Just shut up. Shut up right now. Stop. That's what they'll be like. Oh, this is another hard one. The fragrance profiles are so different. Tuberose is very citrusy, very bright, very fresh, almost like an aqua scent. Vanille is darker. It's a little bit more intense, but it's not by any means more masculine. Again, this is gonna have to sort of come down to personal taste of what I would wear more, or what I would consider to be more of a masculine scent. Controversially, I'm gonna say New York's Tuberose wins. The reason being is that I can imagine a man wearing this in a very humid climate, or maybe in like an office, because it does have quite a classy quality to it. And here we go, guys. These are the final scores on the doors to set up round two. Okay, so we are into round two now with 8 fragrances left. So the fragrance that was not mentioned before was Citron from Seoul or Seoul. Some people are saying Seoul, but some people say Seoul. This is against Moscow's Benzoin. Citron has a very strong citrus note, which I think is like bergamot because it's quite green and lemony. The sweeter elements, however, though, comes from the abundance of jasmine that you have in here. Despite having sort of a bed of musks, I don't think that this is as masculine as Benzoin. That strong sort of peppery note is just very wearable. It's very easy for a man to wear this, whereas I think a man would have to be quite quite brave to wear Citron 28. So as much as it pains me to see Citron already out of the competition, it has to be Benzoin from Moscow that wins. The next battle is a fragrance that was not mentioned in the previous round. This is Dallas Aldehyde, and this is against Dubai's Queer. Still can't get it. Aldehyde, again, has a dusty approach to this. It's very musky, it's very powdery. It has a couple of citrus elements just sort of layering over the top to brighten this up. It's also got a bit of a soapy quality going on as well. This is a very confusing scent because it smells very clean and dusty all in one. This is an easy one because I think that Dubai's scent it oozes masculinity. It's just so strong and powerful and leathery. So unfortunately, Aldehyde is instantly knocked out. Dubai's goes through. Next up, we have Miami against Chicago. This is Tabac versus Bay Rose. Tabac with those sweet, smoky elements. Very, very palatable. Really, really nice. Unfortunately, Bay Rose has come up against a pretty powerful adversary. Tabac just oozes masculinity. Rose, unfortunately, has to be worn by the right person, and I know this from personal experience because I've tried Bay Rose on my skin and it doesn't perform that well. It comes across very fermented and winey, a little bit vinegary, which I personally just kind of turn my nose up at. Whereas Tabac mellows into this smoky, sexy, sweet bomb. Miami's Tabac wins it. And finally, to finish up round 2, we come to Amsterdam's Mustachen against Tuberose from New York. Tuberose, I love that citrus note. I think that it is a very classy scent. Mustachen, though, is just so easy to wear. It's so easy to wear. Personally, I think that Mustachen has a little bit more of a masculine quality than Tuberose. I think that Tuberose has more of a unisex quality. I think if I was maybe doing like the best unisex city exclusive, Tuberose would be smoking everyone. But unfortunately, we're not doing that list. Mustachen wins from Amsterdam. And there we go, guys. Those are the scores on the doors to set up the semi-finals. Okay, this is where it gets tough. I'm looking at these 4 fragrances, and to be quite honest, any of them could win. I genuinely think that these 4, maybe bar 1 or 2, I mean, I kind of think that Poivre should have been up there. I think that these are the most masculine scents here. Okay, this is a battle between Moscow's Benzoin and Miami's Tabac. This is so hard. Benzoin has more of a sharper edge. It's got more of a sharper quality. Tabac is a little bit more rounded. It's a little bit smoother. Benzoin is like punch you in the face, not even going to apologize about it. Tabac is, I'm going to take you for a drink and a smoke, and then we're going to see where things go. If it was just an evening scent, I would be instantly going for Tabac. However, I'm kind of thinking that in this list, we should maybe be going for like more longevity. If you had only 1 fragrance in your collection, which would it be? I think Benzoin is a little bit more forgiving because I think you could wear it in a variety of different scenarios. I think Tabac is a little bit more niche. Benzoin wins, but it is only slightly. Tabac, you are so close, but it just didn't quite do it. So which is it that is going to be joining Benzoin in the final? Is it going to be Dubai's Queer, or is it going to be Mustachen from Amsterdam? Queer is unapologetic. It's very strong, it's very powerful. I've tried both of these on my skin and I had no issues with performance on either of these. Mustachen is just so creamy though. It's just so sort of smooth and sensual. It's got like those lovely sort of woodsy notes with a little bit of sweetness going on. Oh, bougie. Personally, I think that this is sacrilege. Without any spoilers from the previous video, but I'm going to be knocking out one of my favorite scents in the City Exclusive range. With great sadness and great regret, I'm gonna say Queer wins. I'm sorry, Mustachen. And there we go, people. We have narrowed our 14 fragrances down to the final 2. Okay, let's do this. Both of these are very powerful in their own right. Both of them are quite sharp, both of them are quite aggressive as well. Queer, I think, has more of like a sweetness going on underneath. I think that with wear, this will mellow quite a lot. Benzoin, I think, keeps the sort of sharp, strong structure going throughout its entire fragrance. That does make this a lot more linear and some may say a little bit less interesting. But I personally think that with wearability, and I'm thinking about in every single scenario, whether you're wearing this, dressing this up, dressing this down, dressing this to work, dressing this on a date, I think that there can only be one winner personally, and that is Moscow Benzoin. I love Queer, but I think that there is just a part of me that goes, this isn't as user-friendly as maybe Benzoin is. I think that Queer has a bit more of an artistic approach, and it's maybe just a little bit more niche than Benzoin, that I think is very accessible to a wide range of people. And there we go, guys. That is it. Moscow has won the most masculine Labo Smackdown. If you have any other ideas of another Smackdown list, please let me know. I'm doing loads and loads of city exclusives for this month and next month only, so make sure that if you do want to then know any more about these scents, or you want me to do another tournament, you've got to let me know in the next month, because after that, I'll then be moving on to my usual stuff. As always, before you disappear, if you have enjoyed this list, please, please, please show a little bit of appreciation and go and hit that like button. Also, if you are enjoying my content and you want to see a little bit more, then check us out on Instagram, because there I upload more or less daily, so you can then see what I'm getting up to on a day-to-day basis. And if you are absolutely loving the content and you want to get more, then make sure that you smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified. And there we go, guys. Hope you have an amazing day, whatever you are doing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.